What is fire? A rapid oxidation process, which is a chemical reaction resulting in the evolution of light and heat in varying intensities. A fire is maintained by a combined input of three components that run a continuous chain reaction according to the fire triangle. The fire triangle is made up of three elements, namely oxygen, heat, and fuel. That means oxygen, heat, and fuel are required for a fire to keep going and spreading. If any one of these ingredients is cut off, the fire is extinguished. Fire extinguishers essentially put out fire by removing one or more components of the fire triangle. Let us have a look at these components one by one. Number 1. Fuel. A fire must have a substance to burn in order to start, and this is referred to as the fuel. Any combustible material such as paper, oils, wood, gases, fabrics, liquids, plastics, and rubber can be used as fuel. The moisture content, size, shape, and quantity of a fire's fuel are typically characteristics that determine how quickly the fuel can burn and at what temperature it is capable of burning. Fuels like petrol, diesel, and kerosene release vapors when exposed to the atmosphere. These vapors easily catch fire when they come in contact with an incendiary material. The lowest temperature at which these vapors ignite is known as the flashpoint. Petrol has a flashpoint of a mere 21 degrees Celsius, whereas kerosene can burn at temperature of 38 degrees Celsius, while diesel catches fire at 52 degrees Celsius. Number 2. Heat. Heat must be present in addition to a fuel source for ignition to take place. All flammable materials emit flammable vapors that ignite when heat is applied. Heat is also responsible for the spread and maintenance of fire because it removes moisture from nearby fuel, warms the surrounding environment, and preheats fuel in its direction, making it easier for it to migrate and expand. Number 3. Oxygen. Fires require oxygen in addition to fuel and heat to continue growing. The oxidizing agent in the chemical reaction is ambient air, which contains approximately 21% of oxygen. Do you know that only 16% of oxygen is enough for a fire to continue burning? As the fuel burns, it reacts with oxygen in the air to produce heat and combustion. Now, what is a fire tetrahedron? In a fire triangle, when a fourth ingredient is added, that is a chemical reaction, we get a fire tetrahedron. Many times, oxygen, heat, and fuel start a series of chemical reactions that help in sustaining the fire. An extinguishing agent can prevent the chemical reaction from continuing and the fire is stopped from burning. In simple words, if one removes any one or all of these four items, there won't be any fire. Fire extinction. One of the three components of the fire triangle must be removed to put out a fire. So if a fire runs out of fuel, it will lose its efficacy to continue burning. If the fire is cooled down with water, it loses heat and is subsequently extinguished. And if the oxygen supply of fire is cut off, it will suffocate and expire. Fire covers, for example, put out a fire by eliminating oxygen and thereby suppressing it. Similarly, fire extinguishers are designed to kill one of the three components. For example, carbon dioxide fire extinguishers cut off oxygen supply to the fire, thereby putting it out. Fire mitigation strategies are formulated in relation to the chemical reaction that happens when a fire occurs using the same standards of practice. The frequency of fires and the harm they cause can be greatly decreased by employing these basic fire safety awareness tactics.